And welcome again to another edition of GPL 357, where we are a few degrees short of a full circle. Round 4 has come and done. We're 4 rounds in, and I'm joined again by my co-host on my right, the celebrity craftable again, and some would say the driving force behind the craftables down, Mr. Darren Carroll. G'day, DC. We are a man down. Scotty unfortunately can't be with us, so what we'll do, we'll go through the reviews as always of last week's rounds. We will get out there and have a look for some lost degrees on the course. We've got a couple of 100 game apologies to make, which I'll get through with gritted teeth, and we'll have a look at the coming round 5 fixture and see how we go. So I'll start off with the first review, and I've got the Mighty Wanderers against Wally World, and Wally World are starting to once again build in an impressive season. It was a very important match, and with 166 hours up, good enough to get up over 157. The Wanderers too, they will need a win. They had a good start, they're now back to level. Peter Fatter, one of the unsung heroes of the Wanderers, their enthusiasm for the team once again contributing, but Wally World once again just too good. Who have you got there, Darren?
Defending champions, Back Nine Mafia and the Gunners. Back Nine Mafia, deplorable effort, 154 to the Gunners, 165. Back Nine Mafia knocked out of the Survivor Series. Apart from Robert Schuette's 32, who sort of seems to turn up every week and play pretty solidly, there wasn't much else to shout about for the Mafia. Good win for the Gunners, they just keep on keeping on. And Ash Pedler back from a long layoff, he's sort of almost the glue that holds the Gunners together and makes them a bit more solid than what they were last year. So big troubles for the defending champs.
Yeah, they're struggling a bit. My next review, I got the all-night chemists who finally got the top score of the round and were rewarded there. 174 was too good for F Troop, who won 166. F Troop do enjoy the experience that Mick Lane and Ken Aldred bring to the table. 100 years experience between them, and they normally get them up, but they couldn't quite get the job done this week. They've been playing very good. I reckon the F Troop might be scheduling another lunch coming soon.
Yeah, the Chemists came in with a flurry at the end, didn't they? I think David Madigan had a pretty good score to basically seal that win for the Chemists and to get them off the bottom of the table. Next one up, we've got Ferrets and Wolfpack. So Ferrets, again, 168, a good solid score. Wolfpack 157, just not quite able to do it on the day. Graham Thomas 34 was a good score. Just again, just proving that the Ferrets bat deep, and they're still undefeated at this point of the season.
Yeah, I like what Graham brings to the Ferrets. He's just understated but continually rolling up and getting a good score done. Like we do every week. We go in into the field of battle and we see what we can find out. We search for those lost degrees, and it is amazing what's happening.
Here we are. Rumour has it, 100 gamer Greg Madigan. Just missed the highlight. We'll make up for that on 357 this week, mate. How's it going?
Not many highlights at the moment, Tony.
You're playing all right?
We're square. A couple of holes in, so
that's not too bad.
Be a long day.
Oh, well, I'm sure they'll lift.
You could have come and got me on my fairway. That would have been nice.
They've got the new shirts for your 100th. That's magnificent.
Pretty good. Look at our
Very
sponsor
nice.
here.
Oh, look at
Take
that.
our sponsor,
Lovely.
Griffin
Klein Partners.
Klein Partners.
Very good golfing genetics, that place.
Fantastic.
See you, mate.
Thank you,
Have
mate.
fun. Here we got the captain for the Ferrets. I think you're waiting for the crowd to clear. You're just going a different way on 4.
Hey?
How are you travelling?
I'm one under the card, and I got a whole lot to work with here, so
all right.
I'm in trouble.
That's all right, Ferrets. Going very well this season, big fella. All the best.
Thanks, Tone.
This is a massive game for the captain of the Wood Ducks. The Wood Ducks versus the Buglers. How are you travelling, mate?
Yeah, we're going okay. We started all right.
Going all right. Playing with Arena, playing 100 for the Mighty Wanderers.
That's it.
And,
It's a big day. Massive day for both of us.
The Tridents out here, guys. There's big days and there's big days. The Tridents versus the Craftables, both 1 and 2. There's no doubt something's going to happen. Are you lifting, Harry?
Yeah, we'll win quite easily today, I think.
You're not worried at all by the Craftables?
The Corruptibles? Flash in the pan. But doesn't the assistant pro play for the Corruptibles?
He did, and he had a nice 36 this morning.
That's unusual.
Okay. All the best.
Well, there we go, Darren. Harry Pearson, a lot to say out there. Assistant pro, he's called a co-pro. I think is more likely what it is. How did you guys go up against these Tridents?
Yeah, look, it was looking pretty close. It came down to our last few players coming in, but that's the second year in a row we've dusted the Tridents, 167 to 161. So yeah, we look forward to seeing the draw each year and penciling that in for a win for us.
Well, the win it certainly was. The Scottish man, he'll have to work on his interviewing. We've got the Vultures versus the Sewer Rats, and the Vultures, it was a breakthrough win for them, and it was really on the back of their Charlton Trophy medalist Michael Campese back, and was magnificent. Won the medal and got them up by a point against the Sewer Rats, 165 to 164. Rob Motier once again doing his work for the Sewer Rats, but unfortunately it was a sobering defeat. I'm sure they would have expected to win this. But it might be the defeat that they had to have at this time of the series to refocus and get themselves back into the winning circle next week.
Yeah, well, I think Matty Sellers on this show last week did say that Michael Campese was going to be the difference, and he's come out, Charles Latrobe medalist, and wins a medal first up off the bat, first game of the season. He might have to build a bigger house to hold all his trophies that he's collecting.
Good to see Matty predict something too, which is fantastic. Well done, mate.
Okay, my next game, speaking of Matt Sellers, Wood Ducks and the Buglers. This was touted to be a big one. It was a colossal game last year where I think 1 point was the difference. Well, we were a long way from 1 point this year, sorry. 172 Buglers, 152 Wood Ducks. The second time in 4 rounds that they've been the worst score out of the entire field. So they've got some soul searching to do, the Ducks.
Yeah, they certainly do. Worrying signs for them, and also worrying signs for the Phoenix. The Phoenix on 155 were up against the Tunners and got well and truly smashed by 11. The Tunners 166. The early morning boys need a wake-up call, and I'm sure the captain will deliver it for them from the Phoenix. For the Tunners, I can see some momentum building. They love to ride the momentum, and Peter Whitfield just doing his work in the morning as always, giving them something to bounce on, and they certainly are bouncing. So well done to the Tunners.
Probably have done as well in the draft as anybody, haven't they? With Aaron Shaw and Gordon Laurie coming in and just straight off the bat, all the rounds have been somewhere around 36s. So a couple of great pickups for the Tunners there.
Certainly getting a lot from the draft, the Tunners, which is fantastic. What I do have is a couple of 100-game apologies from last week. 2 Buglers have played 100 games over the last 2 weeks, but got to highlight them, and they were on the phone very quickly to let me know. The first, Greg Madigan, the captain of the Buglers, he demands respect, and he demanded an apology, and he's getting it. Greg, 100 games last week, and they had a win against the Wood Ducks, fantastic. And the other one was Dale Streeter. He is certainly the competitive heart and soul of the Buglers, behind the Buglers. Wayne Game was his special pick in the draft this year. He identified him, and in his 100 game a couple of weeks ago, Wayne Game had 40 points to get him over the line. So the Buglers, for you two guys, I've just popped Bugler red next to the Premiership trophy here. I reckon you guys might have just worked your way into favouritism for the season so far. They've got new shirts. Let's hope those shirts work in August, because the ones before certainly struggled at that time of the year. So well done on your 100 games, guys, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more. So the only thing we've got left to do is to run through the tips for round 5. This will be a third of the way through the regular season already, so this is when the teams really need to be making their voice known. The Ferrets versus the Gunners, Darren. Ferrets undefeated. The Gunners seem to be working into a good side. It's a real blockbuster. They're both in the top 4. I expect the Gunners actually to get up. Actually, the McCarthys are playing well and riding the momentum of a wonderful win in Pennant last Sunday. I think the Gunners might cause the Ferrets their first hiccup for the season.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one. Look, I've ridden the Ferret wave all the way this season. I'm going to continue until they lose one, so I'm looking for them to go 5 straight to start the year off. My first game, I've got Tunners and Chemists. This is another big one. As we just talked about the Tunners, a good solid win last week. The Chemists with their first win, and then all of a sudden they're up and about. So I'm going Tunners with no great reason why.
Yeah, I must admit, I'll be on the Tunners again. I like the Chemists. I did choose them as their surprise packet this year, but the Tunners, no one rides momentum like the Tunners, and until they fall off, they're going to be hard to beat.
We probably need to pick the Tunners because Scotty's not here. He would pick them as their number one ticket holder, so we'll do it on his behalf.
He would indeed. Next one we got Wolfpack against the Surats. Wolfpack are a good team struggling. There's no doubt. For some reason they can't seem to put it together on Saturdays, and the Surats, after their loss last week to the Vultures, I expect to bounce back with a renewed focus and maybe get the job done just.
Yeah, this one's hard to pick. A few late morning guys, a few afternoon guys, so this is not going to be one where the weather conditions are going to play a part. It's going to be pretty even across the board. Surats just, for me.
Yeah.
Wanderers, Corruptibles. Corruptibles comfortably.
Well, it's a hard thing. Troubles, you've actually got double your output from the whole last season so far this season at 2-2. The Wanderers have just gone back to level. I might just think the Wanderers might pick you just.
Well, you picked the Corruptibles the last 2 weeks. Surely you've got to go 3 in a row.
The hat-trick ball, I'll let that one go through to the keeper and I'll see how you go this week against the Wanderers. Back Nine Mafia, the defending champions against Phoenix, who are really suffering at the moment. The Back Nine Mafia, this is their chance to say we are going to try and win this thing again. If they don't beat the Phoenix this week, they're in real trouble, so I'd expect the Back Nine Mafia to do some good work on the weekend and get a win over the early morning Phoenix.
Yeah, both teams sitting at 1-3. There really is no coming back from 1-4. It's a long way back in the pack, isn't it? I've got to think the confidence gain from last year's final series may just get the Mafia up over the line, but there's a few guys in that team that need to put their first good score on the board for the season. So Mafia for mine. Next one up, F Troop and Buglers. So F Troop sitting in 5th spot, just going along nicely, not really scoring that high, relying on a good defence at the moment. Coming up against the all-conquering Buglers, who have been almost the highest score nearly every week. Maybe they're due for a downer, maybe not, but yeah, I don't think the F Troop have got the cattle to get them over the line here. I'm tipping the Buglers.
Yeah, F Troop, they knocked them off in the knockout a couple of years ago to win their first trophy, but I think that'll be the last time they've won it for some time. As much as I like the Troop, it's pretty hard to go against the Buglers at this time. They've been in awesome form, and I'd expect that to continue. I've got Wally World against the Vultures. This is a heavyweight against a team which is trying to find its way. Love the fact that the Vultures got up last week. Wally World, they're in the top 4. I don't think they've been that impressive so far this year, but I'd expect them to be just a little bit too consistent for the Vultures this weekend.
Yeah, look, Wally World on paper a lot stronger, but if someone can jump out of that Vultures lineup, Lindsay Burton maybe, and have something in the vicinity that Emilio Bassi's 46 from a couple of weeks ago, combined with Michael Campese's steady influx of good scores, then they may cause an upset, but I can't pick past Wally World, unfortunately, for the Vultures, but you never know. Upsets always occur around this time of year. Game of the round, I think I've got here. Tridents and Wood Ducks, the Big Blue. Not since North Melbourne played Collingwood in black and white TV has it been harder to pick 2 teams apart than the Tridents and the Wood Ducks. I haven't got full confirmation, but there is word that Matty Sellers and the Wood Ducks may give up the uniform if they lose this one. They're that confident of beating the Tridents.
Well, it would be a wonderful end result to the winner of this season to go through the rest of the season with the uniform.
Yeah. The other team laying the shirt down at their feet after the round. Anybody who wants to go out and see how the match is going, it'd be hard to see who's winning because they all look exactly the same.
I could see some of them actually high-fiving the wrong teammate. In fact,
potentially, yes. Yeah, I mean, Australia playing Brazil in soccer, it's almost it's just the uniform is just so perfectly matched. What if it ended up being a draw?
Well, that would be just symmetry at its best, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Look, Wood Ducks have been awful in 2 matches and great in 2, so which Wood Ducks will turn up this week? I've got a feeling there's a little bit of fire in the belly. Both teams got finals lineups, and both have to win. Wood Ducks just.
Wood Ducks just, well, it's as much as I think the Wood Ducks will win. I think if the Tridents win, it would be a very bitter swing. The pill to swallow, and it'll be very quiet in the shop next week. I think the Tridents are too good to go 1-4, and for that reason only, I think they might find a way to just get over the Wood Ducks in what will certainly be a big blue.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a close one.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, well, thanks as always, Darren, for your insightful comments, and I'm looking forward to this weekend. Don't forget, everyone, if you want to win this thing, you need to turn up and play well. This has been GPL 357, and we'll see you on the weekend.